Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Percy Doyle Reserve in Perth's northern suburbs for Australia Cup preliminary semi-final action between Sorrento FC and Cockburn City. Really appreciate your company this evening on a chilly Tuesday night in the West. My name's Tommy Dolman. I'll be calling you through tonight's game across MPL.tv and on the Football West Facebook page and the YouTube channel, where the stakes are high for both of these clubs. The winner of this fixture, of course, will not only advance to the national stage of the Australia Cup in terms of taking their place at the round of 32, but also to the State Cup final, where they will play the winner of tonight's other semi-final between Armadale and Bayswater, which you can also find on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as well. Both skippers just doing their bits of pre-game admin. Jesse Lazaro of Cockburn and Dean Cummings of Sorrento. Referees will also shake hands and then get themselves prepared as well. Photographer who we come across at many of the grounds, Vince, is just about to get a team shot of both sides as well, I suspect. So obviously an important night for both of these clubs. Two proud suburban teams who do a lot of good work in the community, have good junior setups as well. Obviously we're in the north for the game, or for Sorrento at their home ground, Cockburn, based in the south down at Dalmatinak Park. In terms of the teams for tonight's action, Sorrento line up Patrick Hughes, Byungatai Arn, Mark Barnett, Alex Morgan, Ollie Annis, Tim Hill, Ryan McLaughlin, Dean Cummings, Jordan Brown, Gustavo Marilander and Chris Jackson. Cockburn, Michael Craggs, Callum Barker, Daniel Doles, Igor Kavjanovic, Anthony Skorich, Jesse Lazaro, Daniel Sancic, Jeff Bright, Daniel Robertson, Justin Tang and Alessandro DeAndre Basto. Referee for tonight's fixture will be Tom Glavovich, and he'll be assisted by Albert Miembe and Kai Bartush. Adrian Lichty will be your fourth official. So just about to kick off here on a night which means plenty to both of these clubs in terms of the opportunity presented to the winner. While both of these sides have represented WA on the national stage before, these opportunities don't come around all that often, and hence that exposure and subsequent offer of local silverware shouldn't be underestimated. Off and running with Cockburn kicking off from the left to the right of his stream tonight, wearing their predominantly sky blue jerseys with the navy blue shorts. Cockburn also wearing their home kit as well, the predominantly white jerseys with the blue trim on it as well. Sorrento, who are looking to get on the front foot early. Jordan Brown's thrown, little flick on from Chris Jackson. Alex Morgan working it back to the Englishman Jackson. Here he is again. Sorrento's leading scorer this season goes to ground. Shouts for a foul, but nothing doing, and Tang will be able to clean it up and help it back to his defender. Skorich trying to help it around the corner. Daniel Sancic was happy to let that one run out for a throw. Cockburn trying to make a bright start here. Sancic plays the through ball looking for Lazaro. Sorrento able to cut it out. Now Hill stepping in. Can't miss him tonight in the bright orange boots. Manages to get it to Morgan, who helps forward, and clearing that one away are the visitors. Ball forward from McLaughlin, brought down by Marilander. In hot pursuit of Doles and Jackson. Ball may break for Hill here, but Sanchez does a good job to set in. Now sliding in Robinson, who does a good job to get back up again and is up and on the turn, but Sorrento have managed to get some numbers back, although Tang is lurking here and causing McLaughlin a couple of problems, and required to slide in there was Arn, who got it back to the young goalkeeper in Patrick Hughes. Bit of a frenetic start to this one so far. Both teams pretty keen to go direct. Pass there, found the feed of Tang. Sorrento able to win the 50-50 again, and Brown will go up the line. Kavjanovic. Daniel Santic. Pass cut out by Olianis, who's looking to zoom upfield again. He's got Marilander making a run into the channel ahead of him. The diagonal comes forward instead. It's cleared away by Jeff Bright. And Doles will get that one back to Kavjanovic, and now Coburn can possibly take some time on the ball if they like. Oh, dangerous ball back here. Craggs was reading it and lifting it long upfield. I was just about to say, we've barely had a stoppage so far in the early part of this game, and eventually Robinson is caught late by... In fact, Robinson caught Brown late, and Sorrento will get the free kick. An area at which Sorrento are particularly proficient in are these dead ball situations. This one is a long way out, however. Tall Timber will go forward. Nevertheless, the likes of Barnett and Brown from the back. Hills stood over the dead ball. It'll lift that one in towards the edge of the area. It went through a couple of players in the end. Shouts for handball, nothing doing. Still not cleared by Coburn. Strike comes in from Morgan, and he just leant back on that one slightly with the left boot, and over the bar it went. So in terms of the pathway taken by these two sides to get to this point, whereas a win will send them through to the round of 32. Coburn with a 5-0 win against Perth AFC, who are of Amateur Division 3. In the round of 32 of the competition, they then won 4-2 away at State League Division 1 side Joondalup United before an impressive 1-0 win over Stirling Macedonia a couple of midweeks ago. Winner scored that night by Daniel Robinson. Lifted forward by Hill. Cummings trying to break forward from midfield. Kavjanovic, Jackson lurking. A little bit of head tennis back there. Hill runs in on the volley. Arriving at the back post was Cummings, but the touchline will beat Cummings to the ball. Sorrento, meanwhile, had a 3-1 win against current NPL WA leaders Perth Red Star in the first round of the competition here, with Chris Jackson scoring a brace there. They then won 4-2 away at Emerald FC, who were the giant killers of this season's competition here in the West, with their 4-2 win against NPL side Balcatta. Couldn't do it on a second occasion, though, against the Goals. And then a 2-1 win against State League Division 1 side Murdoch University Melville in the last round at this venue. Got them through to this stage of the competition. Tang looking to wriggle through a couple of challenges, but there's a swarm of sky blue jerseys around him, and Hill's able to get that one back to Hughes. Oh, letting the ball bounce there dangerously. The back was Baker. No damage done, though. Player who's getting his opportunity in the first team is Callum Baker, 29 under 20 appearances with the club over the past 2 seasons, but playing a more prominent role as part of the first team squad in season 2022. Bright's diagonal, aimed in towards Scorridge. Flick on's a good one. Robinson's got plenty of time to volley towards goal, and I think that will be pulled back for a handball there, possibly. The linesman's flag didn't go up on the far side. Cummings. Wide in space on the right is Brown. Little low ball into the area. Cleared away by Bright. And that'll trickle out for a throw-in. At this near side here by the grandstand. And expect to see a big booming long throw here from Jordan Brown. It's one of the weapons that Sorrento do have. Morgan won the flick. Cummings, chance to strike possibly. And I think that was Doles on the last line who was hoiking that one onto the roof of the stand next to us. If you're wondering what that noise is. Take two from Brown. Morgan's the target again. Brown will get a chance to help it forward again. Andrade Basto, Kivjanovic. Ball forward to nobody in particular, but Coburn are able to just push out a little bit. Barnett will reload again. Morgan using his body. Throwing quickly taken by Sorrento. Annis returns it to Jackson. 3 to aim for in the middle. Andrade Basto thought about lefting it. Cummings tried to capitalise. Ball crossed the line and it'll be a goal kick. So mixed fortunes for both of these sides as well. The weekend just gone. Sorrento were away at Armadale, who celebrated their 50th anniversary as a club. A team who are also in Australia Cup preliminary semi-final action tonight at home to Bayswater. It was a 3-0 win for John O'Reilly's side, the Army, against the Sorrento side, who finished with 9 men and rested a few players in the second half in preparation for this game. Jackson turning, a little bit of room to shoot. Possibly he'll try to make a yard. Brown loves getting forward. Displayed again. Cummings with the first time ball in. Heading was Jackson, and it was a fine save from Craggs, who dived to his left and was able to palm it away and behind for a corner. Oh, there was only one man that wanted that one in the penalty area, it seemed, and that was Jackson, who was attacking it and getting a good header on target, which was dealt with by Craggs. In again it comes. This time it's aimed towards Barnett. Lazaro will lift it long, and Coburn can press out once again, even though Tang's giving chase. Hughes is able to just slam it into touch over on the far side. Just back to the weekend's games. Coburn actually come into this fixture in 10th place. They are a team who have performed pretty well in the cup competitions over the years, though. They did make it to this stage of the competition in 2021 before a 3-0 defeat to eventual winners Floriat. But they had an important 1-0 win away at second bottom Guellup on Saturday afternoon, which puts them 12 points clear of the relegation zone. And into that cluster of teams who are pretty tightly packed in that middle portion of the NPL WA men's competition. Cummings and Kivjanovic up for the challenge. Decision goes the way of the Sorrento midfielder. Cummings is actually the brother of A-League men's striker Jason, who's re-signed with the Central Coast Mariners for a further few seasons. Been a good contributor from midfield for the goals this year as well. 4 from midfield in total in his 12 games. Lifted forward by Hill. Jackson is wide open again. Craggs came off his line to punch. Trying to keep that one in play was Andrade Basto, and he did a good job as well as Sorrento switched off for a moment. Tang, little reverse. The fullback continued his run. Cross was charged down by Hill, and Sorrento are able to clean up through Cummings and now Brown. Flicked on by Jackson. Morgan giving chase. Cutting that one off was Baker, and now Santich should be able to pick a pass from here, although it goes under the boot of Scorich and will run through to Hughes again. Played really well this season in between the sticks for Sorrento. Has young Patrick Hughes, just 17 years old. Goalkeeper from the junior set up here at Persidor Reserve, stepping up to be the number 1 in season 2022 with no Connor Campbell or Matt Giudicati, who've since left. They've also got Joel Driscoll waiting in the wings, who formerly spent time with Perth Glory, ECU Joondalup notably in Oz, as well as trying in the UK, but he's on his way back from a long-term injury. Fit enough to take his place on the bench tonight, but Hughes given the gloves for tonight's fixture. Meanwhile, Doles has received a little bit of treatment, and he will go off the field temporarily, so Coburn will be forced to defend here with 10 for a little while at least. Craggs' switch of the play was picked off by Cummings. Marilander, the 10 are going to have to do some defending here. Cummings is balling again, a teasing one a little too close to Craggs though, who can come out and clutch to his chest. Igor Kivjanovic, who scored the winning goal in that aforementioned 1-0 win over Gwelup. Peach of a strike as well from a tight angle just inside the penalty area. His first of the campaign. Bright all the way back to Baker. Long it goes from the defender. Header away by Brown. Andrade Basto. Coburn just trying to settle into the game a little bit here. Ball up the line. Trigger was pulled by Bright, who couldn't pick out Tang. It'll stay in though. Coburn still with 10, remember, for the moment. Santich into the feet of Scorich. Lazaro, skipper for tonight's game, former Perth Glory youth team player. Someone who's been around the Coburn setup for a very long time. 5 goals from midfield last season, just a couple this term. Kivjanovic, Tang. Just about to say a nice spell of possession for Coburn, although they do get it back through Scorich, and now Santich invited to drive forward into the feet of Robinson. Returned to Santich once more. Robinson, given time to strike here, it was a dangerous thing to do. So too, Kavjanovic, who lets one fly. Might have been creeping into the bottom corner as well, but Hughes had to scramble across and get gloves to it. Looks as though Doles has returned back to the field of play. There he is now, volleying upfield, so both sides restored to their complement of 11 each. Giving chase to this one is Tang, who's looking to make a nuisance of himself. He's got no support, and in the end that was a pretty undisciplined foul there. It looked as though it was a pull of the jersey, and Tang really didn't have anything on, and Coburn have got a free kick in a tremendous position here, and one which the left foot of Lazaro will no doubt be very interested in. Four in the Coburn wall. Looks as though player coming across there is going to make it 5 in Marilander. The left foot of Lazaro approaching the dead ball. Over the wall it goes, and over the bar it goes also. Disappointed not to hit the target there, Jesse Lazaro, a player of real quality as we mentioned before. Of course, this ground not an unfamiliar one to Coburn in recent times, at least anyway. They were here 10 days ago in the league. Sorrento winning that afternoon by 4 goals to 2. 2 from Jackson, 1 from Cummings and 1 from Marilander. It's actually Sorrento's only win in their last 5 matches in totality. They were top of the league after a 2-0 win over Perth Glory and Bustleton back in round 8, but tough run of fixtures, and they've since struggled for a bit of consistency. They'll be hoping that a win tonight and that progression may just ignite their second half of the campaign into gear. Doles' ball forward, Tang's flick on, Kavjanovic looking to latch onto it. Important challenge by Barnett. Sancic lost his footing, now Hill can come away with it. He's got Ollie Annis in support. Looking for an option, Arn turns it around the corner. Doles has got a little bit of time to bring down, wearing the bandage around his head. Good football here from Coburn. Tang was just offside. Strayed that slight little bit. Looked as though there was a swift movement from Sorrento's back four at the last minute, which saved the hosts from conceding a good opportunity there. So midway through this first half of Australian Cup WA preliminary semi-final night here in the West. Sorrento 0, Coburn 0. Tommy Dolman with you live on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as Brown throws long. Morgan flicks on. Marilander shows interest and Craggs collects. Armadale 0, Bayswater 0 elsewhere at last checking. Bringing news of that if anything happens there. Scorich. Bright up the line. Tang's touch. A little heavy. Can go back and get the seconds though. Much better little spell this for Coburn after a flurry of long balls early on. Really did pin them back. Just feel as if they're starting to find their way into this one, and Kivjanovic's strike a little moment or two ago was warning of that. Scorich has got a couple out wide here. One of them's Doles, who's got plenty of time to assess his options. It's deep. Brown will glance away. First to the ball should be Andrade Basto, and instead he slows down and leaves that one to roll out. Lazaro. Scorich, little reverse pass. Tang, pull back. Good football, Coburn. Santich scores! Visitors lead, and it was a beautifully constructed goal by Coburn, which puts them one up. Daniel Santich's second goal of the Australia Cup run, and Coburn are up by a goal to nil. Sorrento 0, Coburn 1. Daniel Santich with a 25th minute goal, which puts the visitors into the lead here, and it was a beautifully constructed passage of play. Lovely little interchange down the left-hand side. The cutback was perfect, and arriving on the edge of the area was Santich to drive low on target and into the back of the net. Sorrento looking to respond quickly though. Jackson tries to get on the end of it. A little bit of a scary moment as Craggs thought about coming and didn't. And in the end, Bright, with all that experience back there, was able to win the throw with expertise, you've got to say. Veteran fullback who joined Coburn earlier this season after a long stint with Mandurah City. Also had a little spell with Perth Glory as well in the A-League quite some years ago. Hill's ball in high, swinging. Jackson tries to bring under control. He's got Brown in support, who lifts high. Craggs is under it, and it's a good claim from the keeper, who actually started the campaign at Armadale. Played his first game on the weekend and kept a clean sheet against Quellup, which was Coburn's first away blank of the campaign. So, good start from him. Another one of those clean sheets tonight, and Coburn will be going through to the round of 32, but still plenty of time to play out in this one. Kivjanovic turns around the corner. Lazaro, little ball wide for Santic. Cummings looked as though he was being pulled back by Kivjanovic. And suspect he will just get a little bit of a word. Former Coburn junior, actually, is Kivjanovic. Spent the last couple of years with Bayswater's under-20s, where it was part of their successful side, which won the under-20s top 4 in state cups in 2021. Chance for the home side to drive long. In it comes. It'll drop over 2 or 3 players there, and Hill will try his luck on the opposite side, and it was sliced off the outside of the boot and away to safety as far as Coburn are concerned. Skorich poked down the line, Tang's offside. That one will be pulled back. So Coburn leading at Percydale Reserve. They've only ever won twice here in the history of the NPL WA era since 2014 when the competition began. Maralander lurking, and goodness me, he was able to get in between 2 defenders a little bit too easily there, and a man of Maralander's experience and ability would have expected him to hit the target from there, the veteran Colombian. Maybe a little let off there for Coburn. Craig's playing short for Lazaro. Little ball up the line. Skorich coming to receive the ball to feet. Ball up the line was looking for the midfield runner in Kivjanovic. Putting over the touchline was McLaughlin. Andrade, Basto and Cummings dueling for the ball. The fullback puts the cross in. He's had a good game so far, has the left back, Alessandro Andrade Basto. Bright will try and throw in a long one. Skorich gets the flick. Tang was lurking. Kivjanovic, cultured left foot, try to bring it down. Clearance upfield was from Anis, and Sorrento can get their defence out, but get the feeling it's going to come straight back, although Santic had a little bit more time than he realised. And Sorrento will try and get things moving quickly through Anis and Jackson. Now Jordan Brown. It's the feet of Dean Cummings. Brown again. Allowed plenty of space. Once again, Jackson won the header. Maralander couldn't get to the drop of the ball. Slicing away was Bright. It's all a little bit messy at the moment. Just get the sense that the team who puts the foot on the ball and keeps their mind and their heads on this big evening is the one that's going to have the success, as we particularly saw with that lovely Coburn goal that they scored. Bright's clearance charged down by Marilander. He's got two Coburn players with him for company. A third arrives in Kivjanovic, but he manages to get it away to Brown. Now Arn, loads of space over on the far side for Annis. Tried to just jink inside, did well. In comes the ball, deep. Cummings and Morgan were at the back post, and maybe they just got in each other's way slightly there. Certainly no intent to slow the game down from the away side, though, even in this early stage. And why would they? Lazaro's got a paddock in the midfield to run through. Sorrento's midfield were maybe a little slow to get back, although the pass left a little bit to be desired. Strong challenge from Baker on Marilander, who asked for the foul and didn't get it. In front of those fans over on the far side of the grounds. Both coaches in the dugouts giving instructions. Robinson. Tang sliding in with a good challenge was Hill. Just to go back to what I was saying before about Coburn, having only won on 2 occasions here in the MPLW era since 2014. Those came in 2014 and in 2019 as well. In fact, well, that was the last time that Coburn got a win against Sorrento. Home and away, 6 meetings. Tang looking to try and engineer an opportunity to double the pain, but it was a good challenge from McLaughlin. Bright will come forward to take the throw as we approach the final 10 minutes or so of the half. In from Bright again, flick on Robinson. Kivjanovic, strike at goal. There's always going to be a difficult one to try and wrap his boot around that one and wrap the ball around a couple of Sorrento defenders, and that proved to be the case. Cummings caught late. Tom Glavovich tries to play the advantage. Thought about bringing it back and then didn't, as Hill lofted it forward. Andrade Basto. Robinson, who looks to be playing a little bit of a deeper role this evening. Player who's normally on the end of chances, playing in more of a central midfield / number 10 role tonight. I say this 3 at the back with the wing backs that Coburn have played so far has really worked. Having that extra player back to defend those long balls forward. Coburn also been proficient on the counter-attack as Lazaro lifts in for Skoric. Clearance is sloppy only as far as Andrade Basto, who drives into the area, pulls across goal, and it flashes just beyond the back post as Tang was arriving for a tap-in. Another sign of danger. There, provided by the away side. Skorich, Lazaro. Daniel Doles. Coburn now the team who are suddenly looking really comfortable on the ball. Header away from McLaughlin. Lazaro, Maralander. Got his boot to the ball first. Once again, Coburn coming up trumps, though, and it's Jesse Lazaro who's starting to get on the ball that little bit more. Nice little turn around the corner. It was a brilliant 1-2, in fact. Lifted forward for Skorich, headed away by Brown. Morgan and Cummings will try and sort it out between themselves, but Morgan lost his footing, and now Skorich with a little reverse. Kivjanovic continued his run, as did Robinson. Game has suddenly swung dramatically, and look how much space Lazaro has once more. Tank. Ball in. Hit Barnett, and behind it goes for a set piece. Lazaro's corner, teasing into the 6-yard box. Hughes with the punch. Tang tried to get the strike away. Morgan was able to clear. Kivjanovic. 3 players ahead of him, 1 to his side in Santic, which is ignored. Diagonal was aimed in, Skorich was attacking it, and it was deemed that there was a shove from one of Robinson or Skorich on a Sorrento defender, and Hughes will get his race started with a free kick. Maralander turned around the corner. Cummings had already run past the ball, and that allowed Andrade Basto to clear long and up the line. Shouts for handball against Coburn. I think that may have been Kivjanovic. Gives Sorrento a free kick and then, I was going to say, an appealing position in terms of getting some numbers forward, but it's quite central. Five in the penalty area. Cummings and Maryland are sure to get in there soon as well. Everybody behind the ball for Coburn. Annis's ball aimed in. It's a little too close to Craggs again, though. And the release is once again a quick one from the goalkeeper, but this time Hill was back in good position. And while the numbers are still forward, he'll aim one in long. Morgan wasn't a mile away from getting on the end of that one. Marilander, those jinking feet, that strike at goal, and it whistles just wide of the post. I think Craggs may have had it covered in any case. Morgan, Jackson, has he stayed on side? He has. Only one to aim for in the area. May get a second crack at it. Working back well was Santich, and that's exactly what you need from everybody. All hands to the pump. Although, just as I say that, Santich commits the foul on Jackson, and Sorrento will get one opportunity more in the shadows of half-time to try and whip in a ball of real quality for that tall timber to attack once again. Over the ball is Tim Hill, 6 in the penalty area. Lifted into the near post. It was a disappointing delivery, though, as Tang was able to head away quite easily. Back in again from Annis. Craggs comes a long way. Doesn't get it. Marylander volleys, and the goalkeeper gets back and makes a brilliant save. And now Glavovich, Tom Glavovich, the referee, that is, sorry, will call on the physio with a suspected head clash there, potentially, as the two players went up in the air, but that was a brilliant save from Craggs. He came a long way to try and make contact with the ball initially. He didn't get anywhere near it, but full credit to him. He got back, he got in position, and with Marilander waiting to smash on the volley, the goalkeeper was able to sprawl, make himself as big as possible, and make the save. It's good to see that both players are back on their feet as well, following that collision. Play should be restarted with a drop of the ball for the goalkeeper. Annis, Cummings, Santich attacked it. A little bit of head tennis there in the middle of the pitch. Eventually hoiked away by Andrade Basso, and now Coburn will maybe seize an opportunity to try and create one more opportunity of their own for the half. It's Lazaro. He'll want his left side. He'll lay it off. He couldn't pick out the pass for Robinson, though. Not over just yet. Santich, ball in, cleared away by Arn. Andrade Basto. Robinson looks to make a yard, strike at goal. Good block again once more from Arn. Sorrento holding on a little bit here as Coburn rally right at the end of the first half. Now Lazaro sort of hemmed into a bit of a pocket, and weight of numbers will win out for Sorrento, who may also fancy their chances of countering through Cummings, who's got Marilander and Jackson ahead of him for support. Inboard from Jackson. Marilander, Cummings, Sorrento showing a bit of patience. Brown on the overlap, ball into the middle to Croyster Crags. Didn't take a deflection on its way through. And that might just do it in terms of first half opportunities for either team. Half-time at Percydor Reserve. And it's 5th placed Sorrento 0, 10th placed Coburn 1 at the interval. Sorrento starting really strongly. The best chance they created in that first 45 minutes came through the head of their leading scorer this season in Chris Jackson, who headed towards goal from Jordan Brown's cross. But Michael Craggs dived to his left to make the save. Coburn got their goal after a beautifully constructed move down the left. Daniel Santich arrived on the area to hammer home, and that was the goal that puts the visitors up, who looked more and more comfortable as the half wore on, despite Sorrento creating another chance through Gustavo Marilander. It's the visitors who are up, though, and are 45 minutes away from taking their place in the round of 32. Back shortly. Welcome back to the second half of this Australia Cup preliminary semi-final match between Sorrento FC and Coburn City. Live tonight on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as well. It's Coburn who lead here at Percy Reserve by a goal to nil, scored by Daniel Santich after a lovely team move on 25 minutes. And it's the visitors who get us underway to start the second period. No changes from either side at the break. Coburn 45 minutes away from a second round of 32 appearance. Sorrento need 2 goals, or at least 1 to force time played beyond the 90. Remember, 2 halves of extra time and penalties necessary if it is a draw at full time. Still a lot to play out before we get anywhere near the end of the game, though. Here's Tan looking to put the visitors on the front foot early. Upfield from Craggs, headed away by Arn. Robinson. Basto, who was so good in that first half. Skorich sliding in, not quite able to win the ball. Hill with a little dancing step. Gets away from a couple of challenges, but Bright is able to tidy up his pass forward. Perfect conditions for midweek football here in the West. Just gone 8:30 local time here. Barely a cloud in the sky, no breeze either. Had some rain in WA over the past few days, but none tonight, thankfully. Jackson went to ground meanwhile, and belatedly, Tom Glavovich will give a free kick to the home team. Might just be the tonic they need to try and get an effort on target early in this second half. Got the left foot of Annis and the right foot of Marilander over the dead ball. Half a dozen in the Coburn wall. Marched back by Tom Glavovich. It's Annis who steps up. It's over the wall, and it's not far over Craggs' bar at all, but the goalkeeper may have had it covered in any respect. Good effort from Sorrento's number 10. Hard to get the ball up and down from that proximity. Skorich there, judged to have jumped into Arn. Player who signed a pro contract with Perth Glory as a youngster, if you remember Anthony Skorich. Having signed from Western Knights' youth team, 17 A-League appearances before going out to Victoria to play at Bentley Greens and Moreland Zebras. Been in the local competitions ever since. McLaughlin forward, little flick on by Brown. Kuvjanovic clears. Header will work its way here to Skorich, who's isolated for the moment. Now the support arrives in the form of Lazaro and Tang. Pass was a little overhit though, and Barnett was able to get it back to his goalkeeper. Jackson's flick, little touch off Doles. Morgan tries his luck from long range. Craggs watched it wide. The crowd were a little nervous there for a minute though here at Percy-Doyle Reserve. When I say the crowd, I mean the Coburn away sport to the right of me. Morgan, meanwhile, into the feet of Cummings. Little pass into the feet of Maralander. Morgan's header. Trying to get onto that second ball against Sorrento, but it's not quite breaking for them at the minute. Jackson's flick. Morgan helps it on. Tim Hill on the volley. Craig's got a hand to it. Couldn't keep it out. And what a time for Tim Hill to score his first goal of the campaign. A left-footed volley as he arrived on the edge of the area. He got over it. He kept it down. And the goalkeeper couldn't keep it out. And Sorrento draw level at Percy-Doyle Reserve. 1-1. Sorrento 1, Coburn 1, 51 minutes played. Game back in the balance once more. Tim Hill's first goal since round 8 2019 in the NPL WA competition. Been a long time between drinks, but on the occasion this one came, and it was probably worth the wait as Brown tries to launch one towards goal. Sorrento suddenly with a little bit of confidence from all areas of the pitch. Maralander tiptoeing run through the Coburn defence. Looks to just work an angle there. Annis slid in. Ball dropped back for Hill, the goal scorer. Now Kivjanovic. Space to run into. Morgan didn't get the ball there, I don't fancy. Kivjanovic given the freedom of Percy-Doyle Reserve there to carry the ball forward. Just out of interest, I can tell you elsewhere that it's Armadale 2, Bayswater 1. That was after about 70 minutes. That game did kick off half an hour ahead of us. Can also be found on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as well. In from Doles, headed away by Morgan. Scorich drives! Sliced off the outside of the boot and way to safety. In fact, it may have been Baker who was in there from defence. Just lost the view of who hit that. In fact, it was Baker. My apologies, just having just checked the replay of that one. Hill fouled Scorich. Referee says play on. Lazaro found the feet of Robinson. Kivjanovic was one pass on, but Brown was back. Robinson again. Morgan, little clip through. Running onto it is Jackson. Cross aimed in very deep. Header was partially away by Andrade Basto, and then Lazaro will return it to his teammate, and Coburn will look to play to feet again through Skoric, my apologies. That was a lovely touch for Kivjanovic, who just lost the handle on it, and Sorrento are able to get a tackle in. Baker's clearance upfield. Skoric. Under pressure from McLaughlin. Morgan now for McLaughlin. Alex Morgan forward again. Ball will land at the feet of Cummings here, who try to just slide it in for Jackson. Still here for the goals. Through Brown, who crosses in. Deflection took it a little closer to Craggs, who was able to dive on it. Mirko Jelisic pondering his next move, perhaps. Yelling instructions from the touchline. Coach who spent time in the Uzbekistan national team setup. Also won the league and the cup with Lokomotiv Tashkent, and also guided them through an Asian Champions League campaign. Doles switch the play was misplaced. Brown was able to cut out. Cummings poked in and forward by Kivjanovic and steered away once more by McLaughlin. Maralander does really well out there with two Coburn players for company. Little poked pass, was searching for Jackson, but he couldn't find his strike partner's feet. Skoric, Tang, 3-on-3 here for Coburn. Justin Tang strikes at goal. Straight at Hughes, though, who parried it the first time of asking and catched second time round. Incidentally, Mirko Jelisic's opposite number in the dugout this evening is Trevor Morgan, who's also had some experience around the world. Coached the Bhutan national team. Also managed in the Indian Super League, or at least as an assistant to Phil Brown, as well as experience also in Singapore and Malaysia. Yet another spell at Sorrento as well. Coach who came in at the beginning of the campaign to replace club legend and Perth Glory legend Jamie Harnwell. Jackson goes to ground, no foul. Lazaro, Robinson, little pass into the feet of Lazaro, just missed him though. Doles still wearing that bandage after that collision in the first half, soldiering on. Previously it was Sterling, and with Inglewood was Daniel Doles. Tang with a header back for Santich. A couple of Coburn players open in the middle of the park. One of them's Robinson. Little slide pass out. Tang's cross, charge down. Santich, little touch. Out comes Barnett. A good piece of defending, good piece of anticipation. And the releasing pass was cut out by Bright. Jackson a little bit frustrated. Pass didn't quite go where he'd want it to. Andrade Basto. Cross came in. And was charged down. Cockerell's corner. I'm being told that Armadale have a third at home to Bayswater in the other cup semi-final. This game still tied up at one apiece. Corner taken for Bright, who drives at goal. Little flick by Skorich. Still here for Coburn. Who's the last touch off? It was off a white shirt, according to Tom Glavovich. Clearance long upfield from Hughes. Header from Lazaro. Brown's leading the chase back. Pass cut out by Kivjanovic. In fact, the last touch was judged to be off Cummings. Robinson sneaks in behind. Little nudge there, indicated by the referee. So 1-1 at the moment. Plenty still to play for. Past the hour mark here at Percival Reserve. Tim Hill cancelling out Daniel Santich's first half opener. Winner likely to play Armadale in the State Cup final and join them in the national round of 32. Of course, both of these teams have actually played in the round of 32 before, as of all 4 semi-finalists at this stage. Coburn got to the round of 32 in 2016, gave Melbourne Knights a good game. David Araya cancelled out Jake Colosimo's opener that day, but Stipo Andrijasevic scored the winner. 20 minutes left. Marulander jinking through a couple of challenges. Gustavo Marulander tees up Olianis, deflected, and a corner ball. Just on Sorrento, if they do get through tonight, it'll be their third appearance after a 2-0 loss to Sydney FC in 2015. And they're also the only team of the local WA sides to advance to the round of 16 of the national stage, having defeated Canberra United here back in 2017 thanks to an early Sean Canham goal. Goal scorer Hill on corner duties, aimed in deep. Good header away back there from Skorich, I think, who was helping out his defence. Lifted in by Cummings. Barnett jumping. Santich jumping too. He wins the header. Hill's cross. That'll be a throw. Which is taken quickly for Annis, who's got time to size up his options. Jackson won the header. Couldn't quite make the contact desired. Ball may have just been slightly going over the striker anyway, so a tough one for him to get over and direct towards goal. Cummings goes to ground, all a little bit messy in there. Morgan pokes forward. Jackson helps around the corner. Doles clears away. Spun wide by Morgan. The drive from Hill once again. He fancied it on his left foot again from a similar position to where he scored the goal. Marilander wriggles away from Baker. And that'll be a yellow card for the defender. Marilander's still on the deck here. His teammates, meanwhile, are more worried about discussing who's going to take the free kick. So Marilander's over the free kick here. 3-time NPL WA Golden Boot winner in the past. Very much in his latter years now. And still with plenty of quality. Let's see what he can come up with from this free kick. Marilander's free kick straight into the Coburn wall and lifted away by Kivjanovic. McLaughlin's going to send it straight back, and once again it's the left-footed number 8 who gets it clear. Jackson. Brown was wide, cutting it out was Lazaro. Brown's still out there, receiving pass from Cummings, who lifts it in now towards the edge of the area. Tang with the header. Annis volleys back in. Cummings again. Jackson attacking. Gets his head to it. And it was straight at Craggs, but he had to make the save. Quick reactions from the goalkeeper, who palmed it over the bar. Jackson stayed onside. Managed to read the flight of the ball better than anybody else in the penalty area. Going to be a Coburn change. First substitution of the evening. And it's going to be Justin Tang, who departs the field of play. Player who's provided plenty of energy tonight for the visitors. It's going to be Harry O'Brien, I think, who comes on in his place. Confirm that shortly. Hill's corner in. Crowded penalty area. Through a sea of bodies in there. Cummings with the strike off the bar. Jackson couldn't head home. Messi in there still. Barnett's header will go behind for a goal kick, and Coburn will survive. Goodness me, what happened in there? A little bit of set-piece chaos. Marilander. Cummings. Brown to his right. Cross comes in. Goalkeeper comes. 2 fists to it. Janic heads on. Cummings helps back in. Marilander lurking. Dole's heading clear. Now Ollie Annis. Cross deflected. Behind by Santic. For a Sorrento corner. The home team starting to turn up the pressure a little bit here. As we move inside the final 20 minutes of this evening's match. Can confirm that was Harry O'Brien, who did come on to replace Justin Tang a moment or two ago. Yet another corner from Tim Hill. Craggs was close, and there was a free header in there for a Sorrento player. And it was Byungatai Ahn. With no marker anywhere near to be seen on him, and he plants his header over the crossbar of Craggs, who was well beaten. Skorich. Tricky feet there. Tries the killer pass to pick out Robinson. 2 number 16s giving chase. McLaughlin mopping up. Clearance though only as far as Kivjanovic. Here he is again. Igor Kivjanovic managed to keep that one in play. Sticking to his task well though was Alex Morgan. Appeals for a free kick but nothing doing, and the pass was a little wide of Marilander, but in any case, just skidding off the turf and out for a throw. Not sure if you heard that from Tom Glavovich, but slightly late call, which was apologised for. It'll be a Coburn throw. Hughes came. Flag went up and it'll be a corner. O'Brien was all over that, appealing quite early. And a rare foray forward now for Coburn, who have been a little bit up against it in the past 5 minutes or so. Sorrento with a couple of good opportunities. Now Coburn, chance to get some bodies forward and make something of a set piece. Lazaro's on set piece duties, and it comes. Aimed in towards that near post. It's headed away by Morgan. Lazaro, second time of asking. Hughes comes to fist. Driving in there was Skorich. Tough chance to take. Ball was bobbling towards him, and a crowd of Sorrento jerseys were approaching him as well. And in the end, it didn't trouble the goal of Hughes. Cummings. Marilander. Those tricky feet, yet again, trying to make his way towards the byline. Andrade Basto with a good challenge, though. Had a good night tonight as the young fullback. This one's going to come in pretty heavy, I suspect, from Brown. Aimed in towards Morgan, stooping header. It was from O'Brien, I think, back there. Cross comes in, flicked on. Hill won the header. Jackson tried to invent something. It just got away from him, though, did the ball. Santic was able to pump it long and upfield, but Annis is leading the race back. Tim Hill. Little reverse pass. Marilander. One-on-one with Doles. Cross took a deflection, but it'll still find its way to Cummings. Layoff for Arn. Now Annis again. A little bit of patience shown by Sorrento. Pass was looking for the feet of Hill, who broke into the penalty area, but it was a good piece of tracking back from the skipper Lazaro. Barnett takes the free kick short. Annis, diagonal, ball into the area. Brown's arriving late at the back post. Oh, it's a super save from Craggs, who got fingertips on it and tipped it onto the bar and away to safety. A super stop from the goalkeeper to keep the scores level. I fancy Brown's header was dropping under the bar, or at least very close, but that was until the goalkeeper intervened. That corner was cleared away by Coburn. Now the visitors will try and make their move on the counter-attack. Lazaro, a little bit isolated at the moment. Support starting to arrive. He's still battling for the ball with Alex Morgan. In fact, it was Ryan McLaughlin. And McLaughlin won the strength battle, and now Sorrento will come away. A little bit end-to-end here. All of a sudden, a lot of space starting to open up, particularly in the midfield. Kivjanovic, little clip forward. That'll run all the way through to Hughes. Hill's pass cut out by Skorich. Ball back here for Andrade Basto. Left back runs into Morgan. Lazaro will get that one back for Bright, who's happy to play up the line, looking for Skorich, who may have been offside, but it didn't matter as McLaughlin was able to clear. So, round about 10 minutes to play here at Percy-Doyle Reserve. Sorrento 1, Coburn City 1. Daniel Santich's first half opener cancelled out by Tim Hill's equaliser. Live Australia Cup preliminary semi-final action here on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as well. Tommy Dolman with you on commentary. Don't forget, if it stays level at full time, we will have extra time and penalties to decide this one. There will be a winner tonight. Coburn might just try and kill it, though, before that mark as Lazaro pulls it back. Kivjanovic on the volley, high and into the trees behind the goal of Patrick Hughes. Looks as though Armadale have booked their place in the round of 32. So congratulations to John O'Reilly's side. I'm being told it's 4-1. There's a final score there. They will play the winner of this tie in the State Cup final in July 24. Going to be a yellow card here. Shown, I think, to Jordan Brown. Free kick taken short, Lazaro. Little poke out wide. Basto, Lazaro continued his run. Left-footed cross, stood up, headed away by McLaughlin. Headed back by Kivjanovic and out once more by Morgan, who was back defending deep. Sancic with the outstretched leg. Robinson. Ball fed wide for Basto. Well anticipated initially by Brown, but the fullback's got it back once more. Switch of the play comes now. Doles, a little bit of space to assess his options. Stood up deep, looking for Skorich, who was up against two light blue jerseys. That turquoise of Sorrento. Annis's ball up the line. Little flick from Doles. Might yet break for Jackson here. Annis arriving in support. Receives the pass. Cross into the area. Maralander trying to make a yard for himself. Cleared away to Brown. Now Dean Cummings. Charged down by Andrade Basto. Coburn will come the other way through Lazaro. He had Robinson alongside him, picked off by Morgan, who struck at goal. He had teammates to his left and to his right and opted to go along and didn't quite get the power necessary to test Craggs. Andrade Basto. O'Brien jinks away from a challenge, sliding in with an important tackle. There was McLaughlin, who's been outstanding tonight, it has to be said. If no intervention there, then O'Brien may have potentially been able to get that strike away. In comes a long throw. A little nudge there, potentially. Teed off. Sancic again! Deflected wide by Annis. Not sure if that one was on target. The defender wasn't to know, though. So 5 minutes left. Plus added time. Sorrento 1, Coburn 1. Winner to play Armadale in the State Cup final and join them in the round of 32. Lazaro's corner. Getting that one back towards goal was Doles, and it hit a Sorrento body, and they're able to get it clear eventually. Kivjanovic, pasture skewed off the outside of the foot, and Sorrento might be away to the races here. Cummings finds Jackson. Sorrento have 4 forward. Numbers for Coburn getting back. Craggs came out. made an intervention. Might still be here for Marilander. The white shirts have got him back for the moment. Jackson's ball back in, cleared away and upfield by Andrade Basto. And Arn will try his luck from outside of the area, and that was a very tough opportunity. Didn't quite come down for him, and as a result, he wasn't able to get the power necessary. Sorrento still to turn to their bench actually tonight. Just the one change for Coburn, with Justin Tang coming off for Harry O'Brien. Although, just as I say that, it looks as though Mirko Jelisic is preparing at least one change, possibly two. Come back to that in a moment. Barnett helps that one back to Hughes. O'Brien giving chase. Got to hurry. Sliding in was Morgan, won the ball off Lazaro. Marilander was there to help. Little pass inside for Jackson. Craggs came out. No penalty, says the referee. Marilander managed to get back to his feet quickly, and then Sancic was back and just slamming it over the touchline and down the hill. I'd have to have another look at that to see whether Craggs got a piece of it or not. Hard to tell from the angle we've got here. Referee was a lot closer. Double change coming up here for Coburn in the meantime. Anthony Skoric and Igor Kivjanovic are making way. We're going to see a couple of late changes come on. Ivan Skoric will be one of them. He's the one that's just entered the field now on your screen. And the other is Kanel Mutis. 9 appearances and 4 goals for the latter at under 20 level this season. Hill's ball in, teasing towards that near post. Jackson got a touch. No body from Coburn got anything on that, and it'll be a goal kick. Got a good piece of that, did Jackson. Maybe not the cleanest contact. And obviously a very tough opportunity to try and steer back towards the target. Skoric. Free kick will be pulled back. No advantage paid. Coming up to second half stoppage time. Getting very late in the piece now. Lazaro's ball aimed in. Hughes is under it. He had to watch it a long way. The pressure was arriving from Baker, but the young goalkeeper kept his nerve. Lifted forward by Brown, flicked on by Marilander. Chris Jackson, offside flags up. Wouldn't have counted, even if Jackson had got the strike on goal. Albert Miembe's flag was up as soon as the Englishman had touched it. Three minutes of second half added time remain. Searching ball, looking for Skorich. Morgan. Marilander, Jordan Brown, cross into the area. Craggs. Gathered. Despite some heavy traffic approaching him in the penalty area. Must admit my view of that was slightly obscured. Very brave piece of goalkeeping, though, with the driven ball just fizzed across. It looks as though we're inching towards extra time and penalties unless either team can find what would surely be a winner at this stage of the game. Jackson's flick. Marilander gives chase. Doles back for Craggs. Confident enough to take a touch and get it to Bright, who goes long upfield. Ivan Skorich. Lifted up in the air by Baker. Robinson's got to wait for the drop. Up the line from Cummings. Might have stayed in play. Whether it did or not was irrelevant, though, as Jackson was offside. Throw taken. Mootsies. Clearance. Off Brown. Andrade Basto with a throw. Into Skorich. Little hook around the corner. O'Brien gives chase. Barnett skies that one straight up in the air. It's spinning dangerously. Getting his foot in there was Skorich. And he may have caught the defender back there, maybe accidentally. Don't think there was any malice in particular in that. Arns quickly back to his feet. Meanwhile, Sorrento play on. Jackson. Lazaro with a foot in. Olianis. Bowl aimed in. Marilander's head down. Alex Morgan on the volley. It was slightly behind him. Just couldn't quite time his run on the approach to the Marilander header, and that might be the final glaring opportunity of the 90 minutes. Coburn breathed a sigh of relief. Sorrento perhaps a little disappointed. All roads lead to another half an hour at least. 1-1 at full time in the semi-final of the Australian Cup preliminary rounds here in the West between Sorrento FC and Coburn City. Daniel Santich's first half goal was cancelled out by Tim Hill's volley early in the second period. Both teams had opportunities to go forward and win the game, but in the end neither could find the decisive blow in regular time, and we're going to play 15 minutes each way of extra time, and if necessary as well, a penalty shootout to decide who plays Armadale in the State Cup final on July 24 and subsequently represent WA on the national stage in the Australia Cups round of 32. Go make yourselves a quick cup of tea, everybody. We've got at least another half an hour here. Back shortly with that. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back to Persidor Reserve for extra time of this Australia Cup preliminary semi-final clash between Sorrento FC and Cockburn City. Score is 1-1 if you're only just joining us now for the extra time period. Daniel Santich in the first half, Tim Hill in the second half. A couple of changes from both teams, which we will maybe just wrap up quickly in a moment. Those are all in regulation time, I should add. We'll come back to those shortly. Cockburn, meanwhile, looking to make a fast start to this extra time period as Robinson lays off for Ivan Skoric. Daniel Santich pass was away from Mutis. And Cummings will lift upfield. Up the line from Doles. Annis similarly up the line. Just to bring you up to speed with what's happened in terms of the changes. Sorrento still yet to turn to their bench. Just to clarify what I said a moment or two ago. Cockburn have made 3 swaps with Harry O'Brien, Kamel Mutis and Ivan Skoric coming on. For Anthony Skoric, Igor Kvjanovic and Justin Tang. Maralander expertly brought down. Cummings with a cross. Santich away. Arns got a little bit of time to bring it down. He'll loft it up forward. Heading away was Baker. Straight to Annis, though. Loves that left foot, does Ollie Annis. Cross off Lazaro. Into touch. Scored a couple of weeks ago against Perth Red Star, did Ollie Annis. Plays a little 1-2 with Morgan here. That cross took a deflection. Craggs with a shout. Bounces dangerously in the 6-yard line. The goalkeeper knew exactly what he was doing there. O'Brien. Santich. If he can keep it in, he's got plenty of time to look up. Matthias was making a run into the channel. It's aimed in deep instead, and that's not going to trouble Patrick Hughes or the Sorrento defence. First time that these two sides have played in an extra time period in the NPL WA era, having never met in the Cup since the formation of the FFA/Australia Cup in 2014, and also having never met in a NPL Top 4 Cup match either. "18 meetings previously," currently stands at Sorrento 9, Coburn 5, and 4 draws in between all of that. As mentioned in the first half, Sorrento are unbeaten in their last 6 meetings overall with the Cockerels. Hill, pass a little short for Jackson, and Doles with the bandage will come away. Collision in the first half in case you're late in joining us. And then the pass from Ryan McLaughlin was well intentioned, but a little too heavy for Jackson. Lazaro wide for Bright. Little exchange of passes with Callan Baker. Bright's ball forward, aimed in towards Ivan Skoric. Might break for Mooties here. Shouts for handball. Nothing given. Mooties with a strike. It was a good block from Annis, who got down low. And then the strike came in. Oh my goodness! What a goal that is from Harry O'Brien! He picks out the top corner. The Coburn fans are celebrating, as are the players, and they're ahead in extra time. What a goal from Harry O'Brien to put Coburn into their second lead of the evening. His 4th goal in all competitions so far this season, his first since netting the winner against leaders Perth Red Star a few weeks back. And it's Sorrento who are once again having to do the chasing this evening. And they've made a change as well. Zechariah Dabbs has come onto the field, the number 15, who looked like he was fouled over on the far side, but no foul was picked out. Confirm to you in a second who's come off. Oh, passes a little short here. Skorich has picked it off. He'll take the strike on early, and he had a little bit more time to assess his options there, I feel. Could have taken a couple more chances and driven towards goal. In the end, it was straight at Hughes. And Sorrento survive. Bit of a let-off there. I can tell you it's Tim Hill who made way for Dabs. Coburn, meanwhile, looking to possibly kill this one off here. Skorich dives in. Got the ball, I think, before making contact with Barnett. Play continues. Brown's ball upfield. And I think play has been stopped here for a possible clash of heads hazard or a collision. Coburn thought about waving on the physio, but they're going to give their player as much time as possible to get back up on their feet. I'm not sure who it was back there. I think it might be Callan Baker. And now the physio will eventually come on. So a little break in play for the moment. Just to recap you on the evening's action so far. The game went to extra time after a 90-minute period where the teams couldn't be split. Goals from Daniel Santich and from Tim Hill. And the winner of tonight's game, who at the moment is looking like Coburn, thanks to Harry O'Brien's quite brilliant strike at the beginning of this extra time period. That looks like the goal that is the difference so far. And if they hang on, they will play Armadale, who defeated Bayswater by 4-1 earlier, and take their place in both the round of 32 and the State Cup final. Craigs gets us restarted. Barnett almost got it lost under his feet. Charging that one down was Skorich, and Hughes was giving chase, and he's keen to get things moving, understandably so. Dabs. Sliced clearance from Santich. Andrade Basto. Brown. Cummings. Sorrento looking to try and dig out across here, but Coburn's defence not giving them an inch to do so. Now it comes in. Dabs was lurking. Jackson was attacking. Santich was helping on, and then just stabbing that one away and over the touchline. Barnett's cross. Lazaro will try to prevent the corner and manages to do so, sliding in desperation. Was Arn. Annis does a good job to keep it in play. Arn again. Cross. Hit Annis. And Coburn will play up the line through Lazaro, and now Mutis, who goes for the direct ball up the line, which McLaughlin was always in position A to deal with. And in the end, he didn't really need to contribute in terms of getting it back to his goalkeeper. Dabs, young substitute, got the match winner here against Gwelup back in round 2. They'd love another one of those with the goals if they are to extend this game further. Brown's long throw. Flick from Jackson. Dabs. Turn. Strike. Craggs had his near post covered in it. Went wide of the post. Took a little touch off a white shirt on its way through, though. Couple of minutes to play before half-time of extra time, but we did have that stoppage while Callum Barker was down receiving some treatment, so... a little bit of time left to play still. Annis's ball in, aimed deep. Jackson leapt, headed into the ground, and Craggs was happy to watch over. Get this feeling that the longer this match wears on, the more set pieces that Coburn are going to have to show a lot of resilience and determination to try and deal with. Craggs understandably in no hurry. Goal kick was off the instep. O'Brien did well to keep it in initially, but Sorrento come away with it through Brown, and now Dabs, who just lost it under his feet. Mirko Jelisic's team win the throw. Byunga player who played in the MPL in Tasmania last season. Lazaro, clever pass forward. Robinson. Now Mutis, who's offered a little bit of speed and a little bit of energy. Playing the pass and then making the run and winning the throw. Off the challenge from Alex Morgan. Meanwhile, player is down behind the play again for Coburn. This time I think it's Andrade Basto, the left back, and I must admit I wasn't watching what happened over there as my eyes were on the ball. Looks as though it's a little bit of cramp potentially. Sansic will get us restarted eventually with a throw. Last touch off Mutius there. It actually stayed in play via the corner flag. Sansic. Lazaro, strike at goal. Couldn't wrap his foot around the ball. Over the fencing it goes. We've ticked into the 105 minutes plus stoppage time mark. A couple of delays, though, as mentioned before, will mean this half of extra time will extend a little bit longer. Andrade Basto is waved back on the pitch. Robinson determined to win the header. It's all hands to the pump now for Coburn. Annis plays up the line. Doles will try and watch out. Manages to succeed. Craggs upfield. Annis, free header. Jackson lifts it over the top for the run of Cummings. Bright will just hoist that one high into the Sorrento sky. And the foul will go the way of Sorrento here. Challenge from Robinson, I think. Suited for a left footer this. Annis will take. It's over the wall and not troubling Craggs. And Tom Glovovich looks at his watch and blows the whistle for half-time. In extra time, 15 minutes for Sorrento to score, 15 minutes for Coburn to survive. They lead by 2-1 after 105 minutes. Tied up, 1-1. After the 90, Santich's opener cancelled out by Tim Hill, and then a simply spectacular strike from Harry O'Brien is the difference in the game and has Coburn on course for the State Cup final and for the Australia Cup round of 32. Quick break, back with the second half shortly. Welcome back to the second half of extra time here. 15 minutes left to determine the fate of these two sides in their quest to reach the round of 32 for the Australia Cup. Sorrento trailing by 2-1. Jackson's giving chase. Bright's heading back. Craggs is gathering. Oh, pass back from McLaughlin a little short. Strike from Scorridge. Finds the back of the net. Coburn might just be round of 32 bound after all. Two super subs deliver the goods for the Cockerels. And they might be going to the national stage for the second time. Sorrento 1, Coburn 3. Early in the second half of extra time. Looks as though both teams are going to turn to the bench. Coburn will bring on David Araya, who actually scored in the Cockerels' last round of 32 appearance in that game against Melbourne Knights. He'll come on, I think, in place of Alessandro Andrade Basto, which means a slight reshuffle. Araya will go into the middle of the park, and Jesse Lazaro will now go onto the left-hand side of the fence. A little bit of experience, perhaps, in that back four. O'Brien switch, Mooties. Sorrento have to take a few more chances now, but they might leave themselves open. Canel Mooties strikes at goal, spilled, players diving in, and in the end it was the man who stayed on his feet, McLaughlin, who got it away to safety and kept Sorrento in it by the skin of their teeth. They need 2 now to force a penalty shootout with about a dozen minutes to play. Flicks off Cummings. Barnett gets it back for Hughes. Clearance was straight to Araya. Good to see him back out on the pitch. David Araya, long-serving player throughout the NPLWA era. Mainly made cameo appearances throughout the campaign. This is probably the most important of those, as he helps to try and his team see this one out. O'Brien. Scorich has peeled left. Brown trying to make inroads. Lazaro, that's why he's been put back there, I suspect, to deal with that threat out wide. Brown's throw taken short this time to McLaughlin. Cross comes in, diving in desperation to head away was Bright. Morgan looking to make a yard. Brown. Morgan. Now McLaughlin. Cross into the area. Craggs. 2 fists. Gets it away. Robinson with a touch. Lazaro thumps upfield. Hughes will be first to the ball, and quite comfortably as well. Long diagonal ball in the direction of Arn. Dabs will be at the drop. Little jink inside. Strike at goal. Low. Took a deflection off Arn, and it'll be a Coburn ball with a last touch off the Sorrento number 2. Araya, Mutis, Robinson making the run ahead. Scorich to his left again. Touch inside, strike at goal. Deflected off McLaughlin and behind for a corner. Corner taken short for Santich. Araya. Mutis. Jesse Lazaro! Off the underside of the bar! A whisker away from crossing the line. And Annis will clear off Santic, I think it was, who was still up there. And Sorrento will get us started up again. That would have been a special way to seal it. Ball over the top here. It's in Sorrento's attacking half here. Header was away from Doles, who's defended like a warrior all night. Arndt's header towards goal, or at least that was the intention, but it was watched wide. You just feel as if the time is starting to tick down. Now in terms of Sorrento's hopes of advancing. O'Brien's clearance. Mutis with the header. He's been good since he's come on as Canal Mutis. Offered plenty of energy. Here he is again. Little cushioned header down to the feet of Lazaro. Lazaro works his way out of a corner. Arndt scoops it over the top. Bright with the header. Dabs, fighting hard, as you have to at this stage. Lazaro was too clever. Coolest man on the pitch at the moment. Mix that with the industry of Robinson, and you've got a pretty good thing going on here if you're Coburn. Mutis again. Skorich. Robinson had just gone a little bit too far forward with his run and would have been offside, and hence why he didn't chase. And Sorrento were able to get it away. Cummings' ball forward. Flick on from Brown. Jackson gets on the end of it. Keeper's nowhere. Strike at goal. It was a tough one for him to try and get on target from there. Right on the byline. The Coburn fans clap and they inch that little bit closer. Around about 5 minutes left for them to hold out here. Lazaro, peach of a pass to pick out Mutis. Coburn have got plenty arriving in the area here. The forward then goes to ground. Not sure how much contact there was there. Tom Glavovich waves that one away quickly. Jordan Brown into the feet of Jackson, who tries to roll away from O'Brien. Pretty clear foul there. Another opportunity for Sorrento, who have got to make one of these count soon to stay alive, you feel. And it comes from Annis. It's a good-looking delivery. He'll get a second go at it, perhaps. Lazaro is giving chase. And then there was a very no-nonsense approach from Jeff Bright there, who was happy to try and kick that one onto Marmion Avenue. Long throw from Brown. Ollie Annis on the volley, deflected. Santic should get there first. Clearance a little skewed, but good enough. Doesn't have to be pretty at this stage of the game. Done all the hard work earlier on. Arns throw, Mutis with the flick. Ball nearly dropped to Brown. Alex Morgan tees it off. Ollie Annis couldn't beat Skorich. And now the pass upfield gives Mutis something to chase. But Hughes was on the halfway line, albeit his clearance wasn't the best. Mutis has stayed on side here. Coburn have got two over, open on the far side. And Mutis just delayed the pass slightly, and that allowed a retreating Morgan to get back and make a challenge. Brown's flick, Dabs giving chase. He snuck in behind here. Craggs comes out bravely and dives on the ball and diffuses the danger. And now Coburn will come the other way. Little scoop over the top. Robinson just off. Launch forward, Jackson with a flick, running through to Craggs it goes. And Craggs will run as deep into his area as possible before just dropping and launching upfield. Every second crucial, clearly. Lifted forward, Brown's header, Jackson lurking. Cleared away once again by Coburn's resilient rear guard. Barnett, long ball forward. Forward was Jackson. He won the header yet again, not for the first time tonight. Mutis, tough one to bring down. Barnett was able to jump in and win it. Santic with a header forward. Morgan right back at him. Mutis, little poke back. Araya sliding in. O'Brien. And now Lazaro will play up the line and into touch. Two minutes of added time to play at Percy Reserve. The path is clear for Coburn now. They've got 2 more minutes to see out. That'll do for Doles. McLaughlin's under it. Robinson still working hard. 2 hours into this game. He's been absolutely everywhere tonight as Coburn's number 16. A stunning performance from him. And to a man, the Cockerels have performed in sensational fashion tonight. They have certainly not been a team to be underestimated this season, having beaten Stirling in the quarterfinals of this competition. They may yet take another scalp of a top 4 contender. They've beaten Red Star and Floreat in the league as well. And they've shown that they're up for these big games when it matters most. And they've pulled a heck of a performance out here to advance. Surely now to the round of 32. Skorich gets on the end of this. He's going to go straight to the corner, though. Not long left at all. He plays it into Barnett, and it's going to be a very late set piece, and I can't imagine that this is going to go into the box. Coburn's players are off the bench over on the far side. A couple of them raising their arms aloft. Tom Glavovich has a little look at his watch. Hughes launches upfield. The national stage is set for you, Coburn. For the second time in the club's history, they make the round of 32 of this competition. Perth AFC, Joondalup United, Stirling Macedonia, and now Sorrento FC, after extra time by a scoreline of 3-1. It was a pretty tight game overall. Both teams had plenty of chances throughout the game, but it was Coburn who stepped up after the 90 minutes when it mattered most. First half strike from Daniel Santich set the game alight for the Cockerels after a lovely team move. Equaliser came early in the second period from Tim Hill, who volleyed in. Craggs got his hands to it, couldn't keep it out. And in extra time, when the chances came the way of Coburn, they took them, and in spectacular fashion through Harry O'Brien with a beautiful strike into the top corner before Ivan Skorich capitalised on an error, put into an empty net, and put Coburn into the round of 32, where they can look forward to either an A-League team or possibly even a away trip as well. What a night for them. What a night for the Australian Cup. Full time here. Sorrento 1, Coburn 3. Coburn under the round of 32. Good night, everybody from Perth All Reserve.